Evening, everybody. Okay, we're going to continue with 6892, and we ended off making our sleeves. So here's our sleeves. And now we're going to sew these to the body of our shirt, which we have right here. So put this inside out. And we're going to pin one sleeve to this. So you're going to have right sides together. So you're going to have it like this. Match your seams and come around, match your knots or notches. Okay, so pin these and I'll be right back. Okay, once you have this pinned, we're going to do a 5/8 seam. Be sure that your seams are opened here. Okay, and pin them down, and we're going to sew 5/8. So I'll do that. Once you have this sewn, you're going to go back my pins out. So probably like 3 inches on each side from here to here. And you're going to stitch 3/8. You're just going to strengthen the armpit area. So let me do that. Okay, once you have that done, just inspect to be sure you didn't catch your sleeve. So we're good here. Now what you're going to do is put your next one on the same way. And let me get that put on, and I'll be back. Just remember, match your notches, open up your seam, match your notch, and be sure you end here and here on your edge. And that way you know you're even. Okay, once you have it pinned, sew around 5/8, and then come back, and for about 6 inches, sew 3/8. So this is where we are. Right here. This is the front. And before I sewed my sleeves on, I was sure to measure them to be sure that, yes, they were even. So the next thing we need to do is put bias tape all along the neck line, and which is going to go up above or onto your sleeve, comes around, goes over the sleeve. So I have to make some bias tape. So I will be right back. And that is in part 1. If you don't have the bias tape, how to make it, or you can buy it. So let me go make mine, and I'll be right back. Okay. starting at your back, you're going to pin like right in the center, but leave about 1.5 inches where you're not going to sew it, because before you finish you're going to turn it so it's a finished edge. So just go along, either clip or pin. Like I said, I use pins, and pin this all around, and then you're going to sew on your crease line, and then we're going to fold it over and then stitch. So just keep bringing this around, open it up, be sure your seams are open. My hands don't want to work tonight. Okay. And just keep pinning this around, and when I get to the end, I'll show you what we're gonna do. Okay, now when you get to the end, fold this down about 1/2 inch and bring this over that piece and pin it. And once it's turned, you're going to have a nice seam right there. And you can cut off whatever you have left. Okay, so sew around where your crease is all the way around, and I'll be back. Okay, once you have that done, go to your iron, and you're gonna iron this seam upwards all the way around. Then when you get back, you're gonna fold it and match your line and start pinning it all around, and I'll be back. Okay, so once you have that done, every little section, I just go back and make this little seam here. And then you're gonna just turn this, and you can clip it or pin it. I might get my clips this time. We'll see how this holds. Okay, and then just keep going around again, trying to match those seams. You can go a little below them. And then iron it in place, and then pin it. Let me bring my light over here. So see, when you're gonna stitch it down, if you put your pin in, see where it's coming right at the beginning of this stitch. So that's what you want. So this takes a little time, so don't rush it. So you just have to keep going around. once you get this pinned, you're going to leave an opening. So just put double pins in, and you know this is your opening. Now you're going to sew as close as you can to this fold right here. And don't worry if you go out of the seam line, because this is where the elastic goes, so nobody's gonna see it. All right, so let me get mine sewn up, and then we're gonna put the elastic in. Take your time sewing this, and be sure you put your hand underneath. Be sure everything's nice and flat. Okay, I have mine all sewn. So just go to where your hole is in the back, and you're gonna start threading through your elastic. So I'll start doing that, and when I get this done, I'll come back, and then really all we have left is to hem this and close the little hole here. Okay, so I'll get that done, and I'll be right back. Okay, once you have your elastic through on both ends, I go in and try this on to see exactly where I need my elastic. So what I do is I put it on backwards, so I have where I can get both pieces of elastic, and that way I can see where I need to tighten it, if I need to loosen it, and then I'll be right back. I'm just going to try this on for a second. Okay, I'm pretty good. So just snip off where you're going to end. Okay, the first thing you're going to do, a lot of people just sew their elastic together like this. What you're going to do is overlap this and put a couple pins in it. And you're going to sew it this way first. So let me get that done. Okay, once you have it done like this, now just go back on each end. And just sew. I don't know if you can hear my bird, but that's my bird. So that's really tight. That's not going to come apart. So just push all that back in, and then you're just going to sew up your the little hole you have. So let me get that done. Okay, now that that's done, then you can just kind of spread out your elastic a little. Okay, now we're gonna go hem. So this part's done. And I'm gonna take one of my tags, just so I know which is the back, and iron it on. Okay, so we'll go to the sewing machine, or the iron. It's getting late. Okay. I'm just going to put this on, and it just tells me where the back is, because sometimes it's hard on these shirts to tell which is back and which is front. And then I can take my pin out. Okay. So we just have our little tag in there. Okay, so for your hem, just like the sleeves, you're gonna open up your seams here, and you're gonna turn over about 1/4 of an inch. So let me get that done. And it's easier if you turn your shirt inside out to do this. And then if you have any long threads, you can cut them off at the same time. Okay, now you're going to do your finishing hem. I'm going to do 1 inch. So I have my little ruler, and I'm going to measure 1 inch. And I'm going to press it. Just keep measuring a little section at a time. And you either can clip it or pin it. I think I'm going to pin it. Okay, and then just keep going around. And like I said, if you find any threads or whatever, you can just cut them off now. So just keep going around, measure, and press and pin. And I'll be right back. Okay, so once you have this pinned, start at a seam and sew as close to this edge as you can. Now get that sewn up, and I'll be right back. Okay, once you're done with your hem, we're gonna just iron the shirt. So just be sure you get your hems really good. Okay, and then we're finished. And that is it for tonight. So this was the 6892 part 2. I'm a size, I did this at I don't know where I put my pattern piece. Oh, right here. Oh. Okay, I made this a size 12 for myself. And it fits really well. So, okay, if I can help anybody with this pattern, just text me, leave a comment. Please share, like, subscribe if you haven't. I think tomorrow we are going to make pot holders. Which are going to be the star. So So what you need with this is some material, Insole Bright, and your sewing machine, and thread and stuff, and we'll get a couple of these made. These are really easy to do too. It takes a little time, but they're really nice. I've sold a lot of these. All right, so you all have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow, and we will make pot holders. Thanks for watching.